You have tuned in to another video by your girl Esther Joy. It's good to see you here, fam. Okay, now that we've gotten our tea, we're gonna have a little chat. So if you got your water, your tea, good. We'll sip on it when need to be. But yeah, I wanted to talk about jumping the gun in today's Mindset Monday, okay? And I'm starting these Mindset Mondays to kind of get ourselves in the right mindset at the beginning of the week so that we can really just go and do what we're here to do and do it well. And, sometimes, especially when I'm faced with a new week, I get overwhelmed. Like, I have papers and papers just full of things I need to do here. And sometimes I'm just like, what? How can I do everything? What's good, James Harden? And I think I haven't answered it, but I got you, bro. I will get back to you. But jumping the gun, dude, I'm gonna use you as an example, okay? What? Why am I using you as an example, James? I'm not even gonna say anything, well, bro. I'm not even gonna say anything. But when you jump the gun, as we all do, it's almost like we ignore all of the steps necessary to get to where we want to go, and we just jump, right? What's good, meditative juice, tea skills? Good to see you out here, fam. And trust me, we all want to get things done, fam. Like, I want to get everything I wrote down on these pieces of paper done. But if I jump the gun and say, like create a video, if I decide to go straight to filming and editing the video without actually planning, if I actually want to make a good video, like planning what is the message, what is the purpose of this video, who is it for, what is the intention I want to convey, and then go through the planning. And like, they do this for a lot of video creators. And if you're a video creator, then you create a storyboard, you have an idea, a vision, you have a picture of what you're going to create before you create it. You do not just take your camera and go and start filming. No, you write down, why are you doing this? Who is it for? And there is a purpose. If you jump the gun like that, hey, I mean, I've done it. I've done it like 850 times. That's a lot. That's a very specific number, Esther. No, it's not that specific, but all right, stop talking to yourself. Okay. All right, there was a moment there. There was a moment there. But really, I'm finding how important it is to do things as it comes, just, baby steps, one step at a time. And when we are faced with like a new year, geez, I don't know if you had any New Year resolutions, but I decided not to give myself any New Year's resolutions because I didn't reach last year's, and I realized that it wouldn't be right if I just made more without acknowledging, like, hey, there's still some unfinished business here. And so even in my own like experience of growing this channel and growing my own personal brand and an actual business brand, I've learned a lot about jumping the gun. And I think this has something to do with when we get triggered, we get into this mindset where we're just like, okay, I'm going to do this right now. I'm not going to think about anything. I'm not going to think about the consequences. I'm not going to think about if this is even the best way to go about doing it. I'm just going to do it. And sometimes, like, to be honest, we just have to take that leap of faith. But there are so many situations that I'm seeing in my own life where, I'll just give an example of like when I started this YouTube channel, almost 3 years ago, I decided to just quit my job after I decided to quit my job because I was going to start making online courses, and I thought it was set. I was like, I had a kind of plan. I was like, I'm going to raise the vibe. I'm going to make courses on raising the vibration, and it's going to be awesome. And I was so pumped, I jumped the gun. I put in my 2 weeks, even though I had nothing lined up. I didn't finish making the course, and I was in school, so I had to pay for tuition. I mean, given God really be protecting me, and it worked out. And I'm really thankful that it worked out. Not the online course that time around. That did not work out at all. That was a failure that I needed to learn. But it taught me a lot about jumping the gun. I was so ready, and I thought I did everything right. But when the day came, I realized that no, I didn't really research who this is for. I didn't really do the steps necessary to create an audience and understand that audience to create a service that they would find valuable, and a lot of other things. Jeez. Jumping the gun, I think, can look like a lot of things. That is more of, I guess, like personally a business one, but I think that happens a lot. We can jump the gun, and where do we know when to stop? Okay, so let's talk about another example. And then we're gonna go into shifting our mindset around the idea of jumping the gun. Maybe there are situations where we may face throughout the month where we may feel led to just do all of these things without actually grounding ourselves into that one thing that we actually need to do in order for everything else to have a solid foundation to lay upon. So, geez, okay, personal story time. My last relationship, I definitely jumped the gun. I knew the person, but let's just say we went way too fast, and I was like, let's start dating. And I really jumped the gun because it was my birthday, and I feel like they'd probably be an asshole if they said no because it was my birthday. So there was a lot that I can say with I learned a big lesson with the jumping the gun, with saying like, hey, I haven't even met your parents yet, but let's start dating. I barely even know you like that, but let's just go for it. Jump the gun. Really jump the gun on that one. And before I regretted, it was a lesson. And they're a cool person. We're still friends for the most part. But I wouldn't ever do that again in a relationship. I would never just kind of override the whole let me check out if this human is actually someone that I would want to be friends with, and jumping the gun and just going straight into something that wasn't really discussed, didn't really know what their views were on, family and, what they actually liked and their form of communication. It was just, you did that a lot of times, T-skill staying. All right, good to know I'm not alone. Yeah, we be jumping the gun out here on those relationships. I think it's so easy to be like, oh, the emotions take you, and then you go with it, and you just, you just get overtaken by those emotions, and then, when the emotions die down, you look and you're like, oh no, this isn't stable, this isn't sustainable, this doesn't work. And then when you jump the gun, it's almost like you take all of those steps forward, you don't have a solid foundation, you're gonna fall over, and then you're gonna have to start again. And so this is the importance of grounding, of being grounded in our actions and how we take things. I think that there is a place to jump the gun, don't get me wrong, I think there's a place where you have to just take action and you have to just be tuned with your emotions, and maybe they're really rising up high, and you jump the gun and you tell your boss you want a promotion or something, and bam, you get a promotion. Something like that. I'm sure there are lots of examples where it's appropriate and actually good. I'm happy that I quit my job. Honestly, I jumped the gun on that one because I didn't have a backup plan for how I was going to pay for tuition, but it worked out. It worked out. There are lots of part-time jobs you can do, like DoorDash or Uber Eats and stuff, so it worked out. I would say I would not suggest anyone jump the gun when it comes to things they're really passionate about, because that passion will make you very easy to jump the gun because you are charged. You're energetically charged. You're just like, yo, I love this is what I want to do. And then you jump the gun and you realize that you either spent so much energy at once that it is an unsustainable amount of energy and it leads to burnout or something along those lines. So the importance of being aware that, you have this amount of energy for a reason. There are steps to take for anything for a reason and any manifestation that you're creating. And it's important to be aware. What's good, Donovan? It's good to see you. I would like to note that I'm still jumping the gun on some things. Heck, I say things before I even have told myself about what I'm conceptualizing. I'll be like, oh, I have this giant plan for how we should do things, and I've barely thought about it. And let me tell you, fam, do not jump the gun when there are other people involved in the decision of making that choice. Don't do that. Just don't do that. I know I have, and that's why I'm saying it, but again, to ground in this. So that's why we're here on this Monday, to ground into the choices and the decisions that we make, having clear discernment. When you jump the gun, generally speaking, it's because something triggers you emotionally, and you are now blinded by anything of logic, and you just do it. You just kind of do it, and it's not sustainable. It's not something for the long term, and you need to be aware of if you have, it's usually you're jumping the gun because you're triggered in some way that caused you to do that thing. Jumping the gun's not bad. Getting trigger's not bad. It's just how we are. We need to understand how to work around it and through and navigate in this world so that we're more grounded. I would love for every person, instead of jumping the gun on your next relationship or, really just jumping the gun on, a collaboration or something, that we take time to ground into that space and nurture ourselves in such a way that we can build ourselves up sustainably and we have something that is long lasting and will really be with us for the lifetime that we're here. So we're just take a few breaths and just feel ourselves and feel, where have you jumped the gun? Where have you maybe just overexerted energy out of excitement or out of, this kind of overwhelming emotion that's somewhat triggering, whatever it was. I know I jumped the gun on that relationship because at the time I was really looking for stability and I was also getting over a breakup, so it's a bit of a rebound. And so I jumped the gun because emotionally I was triggered that, okay, I'm like emotionally vulnerable. I need to date you. Let's date. Not good, okay? And I've also done this in business. I've said, let's make a course. Let's just do everything without actually saying, who's this for? What is the what is the motive? What is the objective? So taking account of these things, I think will change your life. And I've also noticed how this feeling for me of one of the greatest triggers is this feeling of feeling behind. Feeling and looking at other people and saying, oh, they have that and they have so many subscribers or they've already done so much or they're helping so many people and then I look at myself and I'm like, I must be behind. And so I may get triggered and jump the gun in order to, try to push myself ahead in some way. But ultimately it's not sustainable and it will leave me falling backwards right where I was. And then I'll feel more behind and maybe that will trigger me more. So the moral of the story is that you need to understand that we're not here to compare ourselves, right? We're not here to be like, okay, that's what's going on. We're here to tap into our own being. What is happening right now? How do you feel? How do you actually feel? When you take time to just see how you feel, you will have the tools you need. Your emotions are connected to your energy, and they're like a beautiful feedback loop to help you know, what's going on? How is your energy flowing through your channel today? So, this idea of feeling behind sometimes, I think, caused me to jump the gun. And because I jumped the gun, I thought okay, I was not sustaining myself properly. And because I wasn't sustaining myself properly, I fell over. It's pretty straight. Any advice on starting a YouTube channel? Absolutely. Just do it. When you start the YouTube channel, this is one thing that I will say. You gotta jump the gun a little bit. To begin anything, I think you have to kind of jump the gun to begin the thing that you want to do. You gotta just do it. All right, you just gotta pull the trigger and go for it. If anyone has or has been thinking about killing themselves, please talk to me, okay? Not to like, I'm not gonna try to convince you. Okay, it's your life, but stay alive, because you have a mission. You have a mission. And you need to stay alive to do that mission here on Earth. Okay, sorry, energy-wise. Love you, fam. But really, starting a YouTube channel is as easy as understanding that there's never going to be a right time to start a YouTube channel. And so jump the gun and begin. So for anything, any goal that you have, understanding that sometimes you have to jump the gun. Sometimes you just have to do it. There's never going to be a right time. Sure, there are going to be times where your emotions are higher and you're going to feel like you want to do it more. That's a good time to do it. So if you're watching this and you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, I would ask myself, okay, yeah, jump the gun, start the first video, and ask yourself, what do I want to share with the world? And when you think about what do I want to share with the world, it really restructures your channel. Channel is about you, so it's really just understanding what you have here to serve to others. What can other people find valuable in some way that can help them? So that's important. Again, never going to be a right time, so it is kind of good to have the idea that jumping the gun is something that is necessary at times. But planning, you can jump the gun and start your first video, but unless you actually plan and set a solid foundation and have a motive to doing it, it's not going to be sustainable. You just won't begin. If your goal is to get a certain amount of subscribers, which I would not use vanity metrics to maybe for a benchmark, but never as an actual goal, because then you'll get discouraged if you're looking at the numbers. But yeah, having that, like, I want to just create these videos for myself so that if I'm in this place where I feel like I'm lost, I can watch somebody who I relate to and they can kind of share where they're at and give me the clarity that I need to continue moving forward. Whew, there's like a little trigger in my heart. To describe it, it's like just a little plant that from the seed it pops out. There's never any right time to do anything, but I do feel like there's a balance. There's a balance to knowing, okay, I'm just gonna do it. And then there's a balance to think, okay, how does this create a solid foundation for me in the future? What is this helping with, How is this going to improve humanity, if you will? Because good vibers, we all about that out here. Oh, my dog's right there, that's... Okay. Hey, Jedi. Okay. But yeah, for real, I hope that helps. Okay, you started your channel, it's just not getting out there. So I want you to keep in mind, Donovan, that you're watching, like, I don't know how you found me. I don't know how you found me, fam, at all. YouTube algorithm blessed you, I guess. Blessed us. It must have been fate. But I made, like, at least 200 videos before I even had 50 subscribers. So it wasn't about the numbers for me, and I don't think it should be the numbers about anyone. PewDiePie posted over 100 videos before he got his first 1,000 subscribers. So it is not always about, it's cool when you have people to interact with, and you will as long as you continue going forward. But this is the importance of understanding when you begin something, when you jump the gun and you say, like, I'm going to make a YouTube channel. It's one thing to say, like, I'm going to make a YouTube channel, I'm going to start a business. It's another thing to create a sustainable system that will make it easy for you to continue building upon that so that you actually have a solid foundation that will grow and give you the results that you're looking for. So think of that initial spike of energy, of emotion, that peak interest of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to start it. Like, we all had that, and that's why we began creating whatever we are, be it business or channel or form of creative work and expression. And then it's another thing to actually sustain it day after day, especially when discouraging things happen. Like, you're going to have haters. So you have to be able to support yourself and have compassion on what you're doing, and understanding that most likely it's going to take time, and it's going to take you wanting what you're doing and you enjoying what you're doing. Because if you don't enjoy it, then yikes, okay? Enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy the videos that you create. Create things that you enjoy. Yeah, create things that you enjoy, I think. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, hey, Esther, which God exactly do you serve? Because, I mean, there's a lot of different things people worship. So I believe there's just one God. There's just one God. Just take all the gods and just combine them. And that's pretty much it. Just, there's one God. There's one creator. You could say that all of the other gods are concepts or perceptions of different aspects of this one being. So yeah, I serve the one true creator of all life. Yeah. Just one God. Just one God. There are many gods, in different cultures that share the different aspects of humanity personified through a god. And I think that's beautiful, and it provides a moral lesson, and it can teach you a lot through the stories of the different gods. Notice how, in Greek mythology or the different Hindu gods or even the Orishas, these are all gods, and they all have stories. Zeus, and he married Hera, and he had 3 brothers and all of this stuff. Like, they all have stories, and the reason they have stories is because we're humans and we learn through stories, and so we personify them and we make them into little stories so that we can understand the entirety of the experience that we're living in. But it all goes and combines and goes back to the one source, which I believe I call a oneness source, God. They're just there. Yahweh, Allah, Okay. With that being said, I believe that God serves us because we are selfish human beings. And even though we say that we serve the gods, the only reason we say that is because we want to humble ourselves. And James, I really don't know what else to say to that, bro. Like, it's one God. It's within you, me, and every single source of life there is. It's all connected. So yeah, I serve the one true God. That being said, I don't want to jump the gun too much on this live stream. I just really wanted to share hopefully a message of shifting your mindset and understanding that there is a time and place for the heightened emotions of elation that we may feel that cause us to do something spontaneously. And then there's that other side of maintaining that spontaneous action. When you create it, it's awesome. But to maintain it, that's where a lot of people, we all kind of struggle. So when you see, like, percentage-wise, business owners, around like 80% of them never make it past 5 years, it is because they have jumped the gun to make their business an actual thing. They've done the work to make it a thing, but then to actually sustain it, that's where the problem is. They're like, oh man, there's this and this and this, and then they end up being like, it's not worth it, and it drops off. So it's the same thing with your manifestation. You might think like, my manifestation is never gonna come, and actually no, it will. It will if you believe, and that you actively create systems to get to your manifestations, to create your manifestations here in this moment. You can wait as much as you want If you are that kind of person that just waits for the manifestation to come, maybe, hey, maybe your manifestation will come. I do not know how your belief system works and how you attract things in your reality and how you navigate through this physical world. So I can only speculate. But even if you are waiting, you have to have that endurance and that faith that your manifestation will come. So, what's good, Monk Pool? Lack of knowledge of the world of business and law. You would think so. I think there are a lot of successful people out there that get so into thinking that they just need the information to start whatever they're starting, right? Like, they just need the information to start their mission, right? Like, they just want God to tell them, hey, God, what's my mission? And they just want God to, put it on a piece of paper for them. Which, by the way, if you really want to know your mission, feel free to ask God and then journal. See what pops up. I don't know, automatic writing, it helps. But most likely, it's going to come through you just doing what you feel fully in your heart to do. And it's going to be sustainable because you're not going to, I can't say you're not going to overthink it. I know a lot of people that overthink their mission. They overthink it. They research it. They get all the information. They collect all the information. They make a 5-step plan for themselves on how they're going to complete their mission. They get all of this information together, and now their brain is like 3 times the size because of the amount of information that they fit in there, so they understand their mission, but they never actually take the action. So that is really interesting. Okay. All right. So yes. Okay. I love it. Yeah. So Metatron, what's good, Metatron? I feel like the Bible is a really interesting thing. And I talked with my mom because she's actually writing a book and she's been tracking back the humanity's timeline and when the Bible was made, because we know that, okay, God assigned a few humans to channel pieces of work and then compiled it all together and created the Bible. But we also know how humans are and how we like to alter certain things. So, and of course, the Bible's been altered at least thousands of times because of the different variations. Okay, that's totally cool. We're getting a little off topic. But yeah, Space Jam, exactly. If you say it's not gonna work, you're already setting the intention it's not gonna work. Like, I'll give you a legit example. I'm a freelancer for human interaction design and brand consulting. So I help people when they're creating their business on the branding and user experience side. So if I'm going to be honest, I'm still learning because this is a learning aspect of, I decided that, hey, this is what I want to do. People kept on asking me. I started, doing some coaching for free. And then I was like, okay, I think I'm at a stage where I've been doing this for over a year. I'm going to start actually expanding. Now it comes to asking the client about, the proposal and how much are they going to pay. And in your mind, if you have this limiting belief, like, well, they're just not gonna pay me the amount that it's worth, so I'm just not even gonna put that there. Well, obviously you're not gonna get it. You're just not gonna get it. You just didn't ask them. And so the beauty of asking, of not jumping the gun and assuming other things of people, right? Not assuming, oh, this person's gonna be an asshole, or, oh, this person is not gonna be able to afford me or what my services are, or this person's just not interested in general, then you never give yourself the opportunity to do it. Like, I know many people that never start their YouTube channels, and I remember talking to my coworker back at the place where I used to work before I quit my job to start doing this full time. And she said, like, oh, I think I'd be such an awesome YouTuber, because she had a great personality. Like, I love her personality. And I remember she was talking about it, but she's like, well, I just don't have like $1,000 to invest on the equipment. She was convinced that she needed she needed a professional camera. She needed like the lighting. She needed like all of this stuff, which you already know you don't need. And because of that, she just never did it. And so when you jump the gun and you just do the thing, you override all of those things. You just override all of those things. Again, jumping the gun isn't good or bad. It's just a thing that has a place and a time. So I jumped the gun. I just had a phone. I think I had like iPhone 6 and I started making videos and that was it. And that's all I needed. So you do not need much. And that's how I made my first online course. I didn't have a computer. I just had a phone. And I used the school computer to put out my course and to make the slides and to do everything else I needed to do. So you can always find a way to do it if you actually want to do it. Was it sustainable? Not very, okay? I will be honest. It got me to this point, though. It really did get me to this point, so I guess it was sustainable. Okay. So, yes, I believe in Jesus. Jesus is within all of us. It's, again, another personification of God so that humans can understand it. And, yeah, okay, we all can speak to this beautiful being, you know, they're within us. Jeez, man, I feel like I need to have like a religion talk. I need to sit down and we need to have a chat about religion. Well, this stream is getting pretty long, fam. I just wanted to check in and share a little bit, you know, about the mindset shift I'm feeling of jumping the gun. So whether you need to jump the gun on something and just do it, you know, if it's related to your business, your career, your family, your relationship, whatever it is, your personal development, jump the gun, do the thing, because it's gonna trigger that momentum that you need in order to make it sustainable. If you don't jump the gun, you'll just keep planning. So how much do I make on YouTube? At this point, I have made $0. $0. So, but I will keep you updated on that because that's soon to change. But yeah, I think that there are a lot of opportunities to make money, and I don't want to get too much into that because maybe, but I'm talking about it. I might as well. I really had this limiting belief that I like at my old job, like I would be broke. And sure, there was a period where I had $40 in my account, and I was like, after my phone bill, I'm not sure I'm gonna pay for car insurance or tuition or like my textbooks. I just was not sure about any of this stuff. It worked out because I realized that, hey, when you change something that you thought was like a structure in your life, that just means that you have space to create another structure in your life. And so that's what I did. I started working more jobs. I started taking more graphic design gigs, and I started like, you know, I was like, okay, I can DoorDash. I can, you know, participate in like local modeling gigs and just be an extra walking down the street. Like, it's super easy when you open your eyes and see that, okay, I'm not limited to the foundation that I've set for myself at this time. And so the importance of understanding jumping the gun isn't always something that is, I know, I feel like I said this a million times. It's not negative. It's something that sometimes is necessary in order to just take that motion, just take that movement forward, to understand that having that aspect of instability is needed so that you can stabilize yourself again. So yeah, I totally love you guys. I'm so appreciative of spending this time with you, of tuning into our being, of understanding that there's never going to be a right time to just do the thing that you're here to do. And with that being said, keep in mind how you can do it sustainably so that you don't burn out and that you can continue doing what you love. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning into this live. I pray that you will continue to ground into the rest of this week, month, year, in life, and really just grow in your soul's mission. Namaste and God bless.